So, you're thinking about making a move to the Tampa Bay area, right? Well, you're definitely not the only one. But let's be real, navigating a super hot market like Pasco County can get tricky. Don't worry though, we are about to break down exactly how you can make this move like a pro.
Okay, let's just jump right in. If you're looking at Pasco County, you're probably picturing the sunshine, the great lifestyle, all the good stuff. But I'm also willing to bet you're feeling that little knot of stress that comes with making such a huge decision from, hundreds, maybe thousands of miles away.
And that pressure? It all comes from what we call the relocator's dilemma. I mean, how are you supposed to pick the right builder when you can't just drive by? What in the world are HOA and CDD fees, and what will they actually add to your monthly costs? And don't even get me started on builder contracts that are written to protect them, not you, or this crazy insurance market. These are the unknowns that can really turn a dream into a headache.
Yeah, all of that leads us right to the Tampa Relocation Challenge. It's about so much more than just finding a pretty house. It's about dodging some pretty significant financial and logistical landmines that, honestly, most people just don't see coming until it's way too late.
And believe me, you are not alone in this. Just look at the IRS data. Pasco County is basically a magnet for folks coming from high-cost states. We're talking over 1,200 tax returns from New York alone, with a ton of people coming from New Jersey, Illinois, and even California. This isn't just a little trend, it's a full-blown migration, which means one thing for you, a very competitive market.
Now, here is one of the biggest sticker shock moments for so many people moving here: homeowners insurance. Look at these recent numbers. Now, Pasco County at around $2,700 is certainly better than neighboring Hillsborough, but that can still be a huge and unexpected hit to the budget. You absolutely have to get this number right from the very beginning.
Okay, so with all these hurdles and hidden costs, how in the world do you get through this maze? Simple. You don't do it by yourself. You find a local expert who's already got the map. And that brings us to your guide for Pasco County.
Let me introduce you to Deborah Nicosia. She's a broker associate with RE/MAX Champions, and her specialty is turning that whole relocator's dilemma we talked about into a clear, confident, step-by-step plan. This really isn't just about house hunting. It's about making a smart, protected investment for your future.
And her qualifications, they really do speak for themselves. With over 14 years in the business, her specialties are exactly what you need: relocation and new construction. She's also a certified pricing strategy advisor, which is huge, and she covers the whole four-county region. That gives her this incredible big-picture view that's just so crucial.
But what really makes her different is her entire philosophy. She says, I don't measure my success by sales, but by the relationships I build along the way. Right there, that tells you everything. You're not just getting an agent, you're getting a genuine partner who's invested in your success.
Now, to really get a feel for the kind of lifestyle that pulls people here and the kind of expertise you need to get it, let's look at a quick case study. We're going to dive into one of Pasco County's most sought-after communities, Starkey Ranch.
It all starts with one jaw-dropping number: 18,000. That is the number of acres in the J.B. Starkey Wilderness Preserve, which is literally your next-door neighbor. This isn't just some little neighborhood park, folks. It's a massive, sprawling nature preserve that completely defines the entire feel of the community.
You know, this place has some seriously deep roots. The Starkey family's legacy started way back in the 1920s, and they actually donated the first piece of land for the preserve in 1975. That shows you the long-term commitment to conservation, and that careful planning has just continued, right up to the modern developments like its awesome, one-of-a-kind K-8 school.
It all boils down to what they call the 3 pillars of the Starkey Ranch lifestyle. You've got nature-first planning with tons of parks and trails. Then there's this incredible field sports ecosystem for active families. And finally, a modern civic core that cleverly combines the school, a public library, and a cultural center. It's a total vision for how to live today.
Okay, but a beautiful lifestyle like this comes with complex finances, right? Especially with new construction. So that brings us right back to those hidden costs. Let's talk about how an expert helps you decode all of this so you can move forward with total confidence.
All right, let's clear this up once and for all. 2 acronyms that trip up just about everyone are HOA and CDD, but it's actually pretty simple when you break it down. Think of it this way. HOA fees pay for the fun stuff in your neighborhood, the pool, the clubhouse. CDD assessments, which pop up on your tax bill, pay for the really big stuff, for the whole community, the roads, the water systems. They're not the same, and you've got a budget for both. So how does an expert like Deborah actually protect your money? Well, here's her playbook.
She dives deep into builder incentives to see which ones are real. She reads those long, biased contracts to find the traps. She schedules independent inspections at the most critical stages of the build. And she uses hard data to negotiate on your behalf. This is how you protect your investment. Period.
Of course, you don't have to take my word for it. The ultimate proof is always in the results. So, let's hear from the people who have actually walked this path. This is the voice of real experience.
This first one nails something that is so important for anyone relocating: communication. From day one, her communication was flawless. Seriously, when you're in a different state, just knowing that you have someone who is always responsive and keeping you in the loop, that peace of mind is absolutely priceless.
And this one, wow, this really highlights the personal connection, doesn't it? The client felt that Deborah genuinely wanted to see them succeed. That says so much about her character. It shows it's not just about a transaction, it's about helping people actually achieve their dreams.
And this last quote just wraps it all up perfectly. Responsive, knowledgeable, and listens. That's the trifecta right there. In a market that moves this fast, having an expert who is not only smart, but who also takes the time to actually hear what you need, well, that's the difference between finding just any house and finding your home.
So, there you have it. We've gone through the challenges, we've seen the incredible lifestyle, and we've talked about why having an expert guide is so important. We've looked at the data and heard from her clients, which really just leaves one final question for you to think about. Is Pasco County your next move?